All right, we made it to example letter B. Example letter B. So, example letter B is x squared minus 6 is greater than or equal to x. So, what's our first step? Yeah, first step is it's gotta be equal to 0. So, whatever's happened on the right side should be equal to 0. So, let's subtract x. That will cross it off, and we're going to be left with x squared. And let's just put it in order. X squared minus x minus 6. And we'll put that equal to 0. Okay, our next step is to factor. So we have to decide what numbers would become our factors. So we're going to get, for our top value in the diamond problem, will be negative 6. What multiplies to negative 6? And also must add to negative 1. Well, let's figure it out. What two numbers multiply to negative 6 and add to negative 1? Let's see. 3 and 2. Yeah, 3 and 2 will work. Now it would be negative 3 and 2. That would be the only way that this would add up correctly. So negative 3 and 2. That's our factored form. Okay, our next step is to apply the zero product property so that we can find our boundary points. So what I'm going to do here is write ZP for zero product property. What would make this 0? The only thing that would make that 0 is a 3. We switch the sign, we get 3. What would make that 0? Negative 2. Those are our two boundary points. Okay, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to draw a number line, just like before. And I'm going to graph my boundary points. So let's put the placeholder of 0 there. Let's put negative 2 right there and positive 3 right there. Okay, let's decide if our circles are going to be open or closed. Remember, open circles are if it's greater than or less than. Closed circles are if it's including the numbers. It's greater than or equal to or less than or equal to. It'll be closed if it's equal to. As we can see in this case, it's going to be a closed circle. So let's go ahead and draw closed circles on our two boundary points. These are solutions, our boundary points. Now, what I want to do next is I want to see if my solution is going to be, well, let me actually copy paste again. I want to see if my solution is going to be in region A and region C, or if my answer is going to be looking like this. If my answer is in region B. These are the only two possibilities. So for example, in letter A, in the first problem we did, the answer was in region B. Okay. But for this problem, let's see where our solutions lie. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to test one of our easiest points to test. Let us test a 0. So our equation or inequality is x squared minus 6 is greater than or equal to x. So if I plug in 0 there, what would I get? So again, I just want to try a number. Let's try to plug in 0, and let's see what we get. 0 squared minus 6 is greater than or equal to 0. Okay. 0 minus 6 is negative 6. And is negative 6 greater than or equal to 0? Is negative 6 greater than 0? No, that's not going to work, right? So this means that 0 is not a solution. It's not going to work. So at this point, we should be able to say, wow, since it's not going to work in region B, it's got to work in region C and region A. But let's just test if our theory is true. So instead of putting 0 in, let's try putting some other numbers. Okay, so what number is in region, let's just try region C. What number is in region C? Okay, a number that's greater than 3, so let's just try plugging in an easy number. Let's try plugging in 5. We know 5 is there, so let's try plugging in 5 for both x's. Let's see if it's true. So 25 minus 6, is that greater than or equal to 5? Yeah, that's going to be a pretty big number. This number, 19, is for sure going to be greater than 5. So 5 is a solution, so that is going to work out. Now, you can try to plug in a negative number as well to see if region A will work. I'm pretty sure we know that it will be a solution, but let's try plugging in. Let's try plugging in -5 just to see if it works. So instead of putting in a +5, let's try putting -5 and see what we get. So we remember, if we're ever going to be plugging in a negative number, we want to use parentheses. Okay, so let's see what we get. -5 squared, that's going to be 25. And is it true that 25 minus 6 is greater than -5? Okay, again, it's kind of a similar situation. We get 19 is greater than or equal to -5. Is that true? Absolutely. 19 is bigger than -5, so that is going to be a solution. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and confirm that my answers are going to be in region A and region C. So let's write that out. Our answers were not in region B, it didn't work there, but it did work in region C and region A. So every number in that region or in those regions will work. So I'm going to say my answer is x is less than -2, or x is greater than 3. I think I made a mistake though, right? Is this an open circle or a closed circle? Right. It is closed, so that means that -2 is also a solution, and 3 is also a solution. At this point, I can go ahead and box my answer. And we're done.